terms of a valuation, like I said, a valuation, I call it a valuation, a fair discount, right, for the added risk. How are you thinking about this?
Yeah, I think let's narrow down the scope a little bit, because I guess we're not talking about startups that have 24 months of runway or 12 months runway out. Those are in a very good position right now,
yeah.
and they have the luxury of an option to whether to raise now or later. Okay, let's talk about the startups with less than 6 months of runway, cash runway, and they really need to raise right now in order to keep the lights on, right? So I mentioned before that the animal spirits have really disappeared from the market. So investors are not many investors out there who have the appetite to offer really, what was being offered last year and at the height of the boom, right? So if a deal gets done at all, the valuation is usually on the basis of willing buyer, willing seller. So the buyer right now has expectation of a lower valuation, and you as a seller, if you do not match the expectations, that deal does not get done. So you got to ask yourself as a founder, is it more important for you to keep your valuation, or is it more important for you to get the money in the door so you can continue paying your staff, paying the rent, keeping the business running, and you live to fight another day? You must be very practical about this, because valuations are not going to pay your salaries. The money, the check will.
Yeah.
If you really want to keep your business running, you got to really moderate your valuation expectations. So I think the advice to the founders is, instead of reaching for the stars, maybe you can settle for the moon instead. Bearing in mind the moon is still very high, okay, still very high, okay. But be practical about this. But I will also mention this to the investors as well. There will be a lot of startups out there who are actually having trouble and really need help. This is not the time to take advantage of that by lowballing their valuations. This is not the time to bully them into submission. Bear in mind the market has a very long memory. You may get by with 1 or 2 lowballing deals right now.
Yeah.
People will remember that, and you better not. You will find it harder to work with other people in the future if you start doing that kind of thing.
Yeah. So
prepare the startups. Give them a reasonable valuation, not a low ball.
Yeah.
And I think you should do fine.
Yeah. We certainly priced in the extra risk, but ultimately at Monk-Sill, we've always thought founders actually need to own a certain enough to actually keep this business going. So it actually works against us all, right? To be too sharky, as they say. Nayoung, so many people asked about valuations. I wanted to give you a chance to chime in here also.
I completely agree with what Nick and Nicole have said. So I don't think it's the time to actually get too hung up on the valuation from the startup side. But even if you take out the whole supply and demand thing out of the equation, because valuation, at the end of the day, takes into account, your future cash flows. But at this time, your expected future cash flows have come down. So I think it's only fair that the appropriate adjustments are made to the valuation. I don't think it's investors being sharky or it's a sort of risk assessment. It's what your company is worth at this point in time when you need the funding. So I think that's what you actually need to, I think that's why you actually need to make adjustments of your expectation. You cannot really think of what you could have, made 2 months ago, because it's not the same time. So I think being realistic about valuation is always good. And yeah,